Despite their appearance, many animals have developed unique adaptations to thrive in the harsh surroundings of deserts. Deserts are biologically rich places with a wide variety of animals and plants that have adapted to the hard circumstances there, far from being desolate wastelands. Some deserts are among the last uninhabited places on the world. However, 1/6 of all people on Earth, more than 1 billion, actually reside in arid areas. On all 7 continents, deserts make up more than 1/5 of the planet's land area. Deserts are regions with fewer than 10 inches, 25 centimeters, of annual precipitation. Deserts are a subset of the larger category of drylands. As a result of their moisture deficit, these locations frequently evaporate more moisture than they receive from yearly precipitation. Although deserts are typically thought of as being hot, there are also cool deserts. The Sahara in northern Africa, the world's largest scorching desert, experiences daytime highs of up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. However, some deserts, including the Gobi Desert in Asia and the world's 2 largest polar deserts in the Antarctic and Arctic, are constantly cold. Some have mountains. Sand only makes up around 20% of desert areas. Parts of the driest deserts, like Chile's Atacama Desert, have less precipitation than 0.08 inches, 2 millimeters, a year. These habitats are so severe and strange that researchers have even looked into them to learn more about life on Mars. However, once in a while, an extremely wet season might result in super blooms where even the Atacama is covered in wildflowers. Animals in the desert have evolved techniques to help them stay cool and use less water. Camels are able to go for weeks without drinking, and the sand can be blocked off by their nostrils and eyelashes. Many desert creatures, like the fennec fox, are nocturnal and only emerge to hunt once the scorching sun has set. Some creatures spend a large portion of their time underground, such as the desert tortoise found in the southwest United States. The majority of desert birds are nomadic, flying about in quest of food. The Namibian desert beetle is another bug that can collect water from airborne fog. Desert animals are very vulnerable to changes in their habitat due to their very unique adaptations. For years at a time, desert plants can be forced to go without fresh water. Some plants have developed lengthy roots that reach deep into the ground to draw water from the arid environment. Other plants, like cacti, have unique ways of preserving and storing water. Alarming rates of desertification are occurring in several semi-arid regions of the planet. Desertification is a natural phenomenon that typically results from deforestation and the needs of human populations who inhabit semi-arid terrain rather than drought. For instance, the pounding of the soil by livestock hooves during ranching may cause the soil to deteriorate and promote wind and water erosion. Desertification became a concern in northern China as a result of expanding urbanization, which exposed much of the area to wind erosion and the accumulation of desert sediment. This prompted the government to construct a Great Green Wall as a barrier against encroaching desert. Some desert species are endangered as a result of climate change. Increasing temperatures could result in more wildfires, which could modify desert landscapes by eradicating slow-growing trees and shrubs and replacing them with quickly growing grasses. Numerous desert plants have long lifespans. Scientists caution that the famous Joshua tree in California, the oldest one discovered, was 1,000 years old, may not survive a hotter environment. Species like the yucca moth, which lays its eggs inside the Joshua tree blossom, could be impacted if they don't survive. Climate warming may also pose a threat to desert bird species because heat waves can cause fatal dehydration. Ironically, efforts to increase solar energy and decrease greenhouse gas emissions have put some strain on desert environments. Conservationists are attempting to guarantee that solar energy projects like this can coexist with wildlife. Concerns about how the Ivampa solar thermal plant may affect rare desert tortoises first surfaced in the Mojave in 2013, and this has prompted conservationists to take action. Threatening to further desert habitat degradation are other land use changes. A border wall between the United States and Mexico could cut off a third of 346 native wildlife species from 50% or more of their range that is south of the border, including the desert bighorn sheep. The reduction of the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument also poses a threat to some of the 660 bee species that call the area home. After the Arctic and Antarctic, the Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert on Earth. This desert is similar in size to China at 9.2 million square kilometers. It takes up 8% of the planet's total land area. The Sahara Desert in northern Africa, one of the worst regions one can inhabit, has a difficult climate. It might not be as heated as you might think. The blazing sun makes it frigid day and night. This is caused by the absence of humidity in the atmosphere. These countries make up one of the two primary ecoregions of the continent, the other being sub-Saharan Africa, and are situated south of the enormous Sahara Desert. There are beautiful landmarks, rivers, and numerous species in this desert in addition to the sand and rocks. 11 countries are bordered by the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert spans large areas of Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Western Sahara, Sudan, and Tunisia. It covers 3,500,000 square miles, or 31% of the continent of Africa. This makes up a significant chunk of North Africa. A small area of the northern region is thought to be productive, much like the coast of the sea, the Atlas Mountains of the Maghreb, and the Nile Valley in Egypt and Sudan. Tropical savanna is bordered by the Sahara Desert in the south, and the Red Sea is bordered by it in the east. Additionally, it has boundaries with both the Atlantic and the Mediterranean in the north. The landscape changes from the desert to coastal plains. The Sahara Desert is made up of both desert and savanna grassland. The environment of the Sahara Desert has not always been dry and sandy, dating back hundreds of millions of years. The ecology has transitioned between desert and savanna grassland over a 20,000-year period. The precession of the Earth's axis as it circles around the sun causes variations in the location of the North African monsoon. Around 10,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert underwent a metamorphosis following the previous ice age. There had been a lot of rain, and the sand dunes were covered in lush flora. Because of the desert's abundant vegetation, wild animals were drawn there and prospered there for a while. The next 23,000 years could see this occur. The Sahara Desert is situated between two large bodies of water. The Sahara is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea on the north, the Red Sea on the east, the Atlantic Ocean on the west, and the Sahel Savanna on the south. The topography in this desert is varied. The most frequent ones are the 600-foot-tall sand dunes. The fact that they only occupy 15% of the desert is interesting. Other geographical features include mountain ranges, plateaus, plains covered in sand and gravel, salt flats, basins, and depressions. The desert is home to the extinct volcano Mount Kusi. This mountain, which is situated in Chad, has a peak elevation of 11,204 feet. Two continuous rivers run through the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is traversed by both the Nile and Niger rivers. There are also significant aquifers and about 18 seasonal lakes in the desert. These lakes provide water to more than 100 desert oases. Rain and drainage replenish these aquifers, keeping them from drying out. There are more than 500 distinct plant species in the Sahara Desert. Despite its harsh conditions, the desert is home to a variety of plants and animals. Around 500 plant species are thought to exist in the vast Sahara, along with the known existence of 70 animal species, 90 bird species, and 100 reptile species. These plants and animals have all adapted to the dry climate of the desert. For example, plants have extensive underground roots that look for water. Their leaves are also thin, reducing water loss through transpiration. The vast majority of the plants are found in the Nile Valley. Camels are the most well-known inhabitants of the Sahara Desert. The camel is one of the Sahara's most recognizable animals. These creatures are widely known as the ships of the desert. They originated in North America and went to Africa more than 5 million years ago, which is an intriguing fact about them.